Hey there, Mama, and welcome back to the Moms Overcoming Overwhelm podcast, episode 73. I'm Emily McDermott, and I am here beside you on this journey as we work together to declutter your home, head, and heart. Today, I am bringing you part 3 of our listener frequently asked questions series, and today we are going to be talking about perfectionism, procrastination, not having energy to declutter, and how to create simple systems. And just remember, if you would ever have a question that you would like to have featured on the show, you can go to simplebyemmy.com/podcast, scroll down to where it says start recording, and who knows, you might have your question featured on one of our upcoming episodes. So I know that you're going to love these frequently asked questions, and I love being able to go back to some of the episodes that I've done already, since now we're already at 73, hard to believe. So make sure you check out the show notes today, because there's going to be a lot of related episodes there that you can go ahead and listen to if you want to learn more. So with that in mind, why don't you grab that notebook and pen, and let's dive into today's episode. Hey there, Mama. Are you tired of all the stuff crowding your home, calendar, and mind? Do you wish you could say goodbye to the endless to-do list running around in your head? Want to declutter but don't know where to start? You're in the right place. Welcome to Moms Overcoming Overwhelm, where you will find proven and practical solutions to declutter your home, head, and heart. Hi, I'm Emily, a wife, boy mom, and simplicity seeker. I struggled to get pregnant and felt overwhelmed until I discovered decluttering could create the physical and emotional space I needed to become a mom. Now, 2 kids later, I've transformed my life and motherhood by developing simple systems around decluttering, capsule wardrobes, kid stuff, cleaning and tidying, meal planning, time management, and more, and I can't wait to share them with you. If you're ready to reclaim the time and energy you crave, be present with your kids, and finally enjoy the life and motherhood you so deserve, let's kick overwhelm to the curb, shall we? Grab your lukewarm coffee, your notebook and pen, and clear up some counter space. Let's do this. Anytime someone comes to request membership to the free Facebook group, which you can find at tinyurl.com/moms overcoming overwhelm, I ask them 3 questions. The first is, what does motherhood look like for you right now? The second is, what are you struggling the most with when it comes to decluttering? And the third is for their best email address for a once-a-month newsletter that includes the podcast roundup for the month, a blog post, and a helpful resource. Well, this is actually the 3rd episode in our frequently asked questions series on the show. And if you listen to episode 69 and listen to episode 71, you can hear some of the other questions you all have asked. But today I am pulling the questions directly from what you all have told me have been your biggest struggles. And the first one has to do with an all or nothing mentality when it comes to decluttering. So one person specifically said, I'm trying to break out of the all or nothing mindset that's keeping me from decluttering my home. Things pile up because I feel like I need hours to tackle a decluttering project. Someone else said that they avoid starting it because it feels like it would take too long. And I totally understand this. We've actually talked about this a little bit before about wouldn't it be nice if we had an entire weekend to ourselves? Of course, if we actually did, we probably would not want to spend it decluttering. And so we end up putting it off because we feel like we don't have enough time or enough focus time to be able to attack it. And as a recovering perfectionist and someone that struggles with procrastination, I've learned that there is a relationship between those 2 things. So we end up procrastinating on something because we feel like we can't do it the quote unquote right way. Maybe you can relate to that. And so that's why in the Facebook group, I really recommend that we go in, we set that timer for the 15 minutes, and we do whatever we can. It doesn't have to look like we're going to be perfectly curating our sentimental items. It might just be getting moldy food out of the fridge or taking the expired chips and other things that are in the pantry and getting rid of those. Or maybe it's just throwing away some junk mail that's been on the counter. It all counts. And so when you're having that all or nothing mentality, I would really encourage you to just set that timer, even if it's just for 5 minutes, and say, okay, I'm going to just focus on what is trash. And then as you gain that momentum, you start flexing those decision-making muscles, then you're able to do things that are a little bit more complex, a little bit more emotional in nature. And if you join the group, I will be supporting you every step of the way. We also talk a little bit about this in episode 12, which was my first interview, Say Goodbye to Perfectionism and Declutter with Confidence with Sarah from Simple and Intentional. And I just love how both she and I have struggled with perfectionism in our lives, but then we realized that the benefit of what decluttering brings you as far as you reclaiming your health and your time and your focus and your attention, then we're able to see that that is more important and be able to start incorporating decluttering into our everyday so it doesn't seem like this overwhelming thing. We're able to, while our kids are playing, look at the broken toys and put those aside. They're coloring, we take the broken crayons, we can throw them out. It doesn't have to be something that we're setting aside hours to do. It can actually be part of the fabric of our everyday lives. So the second thing that I hear quite a lot from all of you is that we have no energy or motivation or focus to declutter. And many of you in the group have told me that you are either diagnosed or undiagnosed ADHD. I'm going to be doing an episode in the future specifically speaking to all my ADHD mamas out there. But for now, I want to talk about the connection between not having the energy and all the decisions that we are making. So if you listen to episode 19, Exhausted and Burnt Out with No Energy to Declutter as a Busy Mom, you probably aren't asking yourself this simple question. The simple question is, what unnecessary decisions can I remove from my life? So we talk about the connection between how much stuff we have and choices between those things and how we need to make decisions between them. So decluttering is decision making, and it can be very taxing on our energy and our focus, and we often don't feel motivated to do it. So again, we're wanting to focus on what I call that low-hanging fruit, the easier things to make decisions about, the trash in your car, the recycling, the moldy makeup that you don't know when you got it, the half-used toiletries, those types of things. And once you start getting to the more difficult things, then if you're having a hard time with the energy required to make the decision, you can go ahead and use that out of sight, out of mind bin that I talk about in episode 48, the one thing that you need to add to your decluttering toolbox. So the out of sight, out of mind bin is very powerful, but you need to make sure that you have a date for following up to make sure it just doesn't stay as clutter. It is a form of delayed decision making. So if you find like you're struggling with energy and motivation, it can kind of give you that grace that you need in order to allow you to move on to other things. And as always, I always recommend that you set a timer. The reason I have these episodes 15 minutes or less is so not only they're easily digestible, but then you can also listen to it while you are decluttering, hopefully. Okay, so the third thing I hear frequently is that people feel overwhelmed because they don't have a system around their stuff. One person said, mail gathers into piles on the kitchen table or on the floor. Laundry piles up and doesn't get cleaned until I need to wear it. Stuff gathers on the counters and I don't know where to put it. So what I need you all to recognize is that chaos is a routine if it's something that you're doing every day. A lot of people, they'll kind of balk at the idea of routines and say, well, that doesn't work for us, or I've tried that before, or it's too boring. But you need to have a system around your stuff or else things are just going to be everywhere. And whatever you are modeling is what the rest of your family is going to do. So a lot of times when we focus on things that are coming in, we have a lot of paper coming into our home. If you listen to episode 28, are you constantly shuffling around piles of paper? Steal My No Fail paper processing routine. I talk all about mail and kids' artwork and kids' papers and how I handle those. And also when it comes to any sort of purchases, just kind of being more intentional about those purchases is really important. Asking yourself, do I need this? Will I use it? Can you maybe take a pause and not buy it right away and put it on a wish list? And in episode 68, which I had with Mary Simpson, 4 steps to stop the shopping habit, from former shopaholic and workaholic turned minimalist mom, Mary Simpson, she talks about some of the strategies that she uses to stop bringing so much into her home. So those are for things coming in. But then as far as what is already in your home and what needs to be managed, we think a lot about meals, laundry, kind of doing daily resets, making sure everything has a home. And I've done episodes on all of these things that you can find in the show notes. I do daily laundry, try to do 2-week meal plans. Again, we're trying to reduce the decision-making load. And also when you are, for example, doing laundry on a more regular basis, you don't need as many clothes because your clothes are cleaner more frequently. And resets are another huge thing that we talk about in episode 35 with Lisa Lazat from the Habits and Home Show. And we are going to be doing a reset challenge in the Decluttering Facebook group that's going to be starting on Wednesday, November 15th. So make sure to join the group if you would like to do that. So my other main suggestion when it comes to managing the stuff within your home is to make sure that you are time blocking and allowing time to manage those things. So setting time aside for meal planning, for laundry, for your to-dos, for cleaning. And I talk a little bit about how I do time blocking in episode 40. Too tired to tackle your to-do list? You're probably not doing these 3 things. And also my conversation with Danielle McGew, and that's episode 62, Feeling Scattered, Use the Power of Checklists to Declutter Your Mind. And so checklists are a way that you can have things readily available. You don't have to think about it, and you can just go through the list to help you free up that brain power and that energy for what matters most. So those are just some resources that you can use in order to help you develop systems. I'm also available to help you develop those systems in your home. So you can go to simplebyemmy.com/coaching. That's simplebyemmy.com/coaching, where you can learn all about my decluttering coaching services. That might be a great gift for you to put on your wish list. It's very affordable, less than $50 per hour for me to be able to really help you implement these systems in your home. So I hope that this 3rd installment of the listener frequently asked questions, it was very helpful to you. And if so, please share it with a friend and go ahead and join the free Facebook group at tinyurl.com/moms overcoming overwhelm. On Thursday, we're going to be talking to my friend Katie Keene all about simplifying our schedules and also the power of habit stacking and how she's been able to successfully implement this in her life. So I'll see you on Thursday. Bye for now. If you like today's podcast, here's what you can do. Just take 30 seconds to leave me a review. I know you're a busy mama. You're overwhelmed, in fact, but 30 seconds of your day makes such an impact. I'll be blessed by your words. They'll definitely make my day. And who knows, you might be entered for this month's giveaway. In Apple Podcasts, scroll down to write a review. Thanks so much for your time. I'm so grateful for you.